Why could living close to your children in old age be the biggest mistake of your life? Is living close to your children in old age the path to true happiness? Or could it lead to greater suffering? Many people believe that as they grow older, the best course of action is to live near their children, to be cared for and surrounded by family. But is this always the right choice? The teachings of Zen and Buddhism suggest otherwise. Gautama Buddha once said, "Attachment leads to suffering." Could it be that in old age, attachment to family might also become a source of pain? Let us explore this question through the lens of a Zen story. The journey of Mr. Min, from expectations to inner peace. Mr. Min, an elderly man, spent his youth and middle age working tirelessly to provide for his family and raise his children. But as old age crept in, his hair turned gray, his body stiffened, and the boundless energy he once had became nothing more than a distant memory. His children had grown up, started their own families, and moved far away to pursue their careers. The house, once filled with laughter and the sounds of family life, now stood silent and cold. A sense of emptiness began to seep into his soul, and he thought to himself, "Perhaps it's time to live near my children. They will take care of me, and I won't feel lonely anymore. It's their duty to care for their parents, isn't it?" Thinking this way, he packed his belongings and moved closer to one of his children. At first, it felt like a dream. His grandchild hugged him tightly, his children promised frequent visits, and he felt the warmth he had long been missing. In the first few months, he was overjoyed as his children visited on weekends and his grandchild played happily by his side. Mr. Min believed his old age would be peaceful and filled with happiness. But things did not turn out as he had hoped. The visits became less frequent, and phone calls were replaced with phrases like, "I'm busy," or "I'll come by later." The grandchild who once eagerly spent time with him was now engrossed in their own interests. Mr. Min gradually found himself feeling lonely again, waiting for visits or phone calls that might or might not come. The happiness he had imagined living near his children slowly faded. He began to feel like an outsider, disconnected from his children's lives. Though physically close, the emotional distance between him and his family seemed unbridgeable. One lonely evening, Mr. Min sat down to meditate and reflect. A bitter thought arose in his heart. "I've sacrificed my entire life for my children. Shouldn't they repay me now? Why do they seem so indifferent?" That night, he dreamt of a Zen master. The master said, "You are clinging to the belief that your children must fulfill your expectations. The greater your expectations, the deeper your suffering. True peace does not come from others, but from within yourself." When he woke up, Mr. Min realized he had been placing unrealistic expectations on his children. He had assumed that physical proximity would lead to emotional closeness, but his children's lives remained entirely separate from his. He had hoped they could fill the void of his loneliness, but now he asked himself, is that truly their responsibility? The more Mr. Min reflected, the clearer it became that the root of his pain was not his children's lack of attention, but his own attachment and expectations. He had unknowingly placed his happiness in the hands of others. From that moment, Mr. Min began to let go. He stopped expecting frequent visits from his children and instead focused on small joys. The sound of birdsong in the morning, the warmth of sunlight, and the quiet moments of meditation. A teaching from a Buddhist monk came to mind. The story of a man carrying a heavy sack of grain on his shoulders but refusing help, saying, "If I don't carry this burden myself, I won't grow strong enough to walk forward." Mr. Min realized that he needed to confront his loneliness on his own rather than placing that burden on his children. As he let go of his expectations, he felt a sense of freedom. His relationship with his children also became more genuine. Without the weight of obligation, his children visited him out of love, not duty. In letting go, Mr. Min found the inner peace he had been searching for all along. In the end, Mr. Min realized that everything in life is impermanent. His role as a father had shifted, and his children now had lives of their own. Embracing impermanence allowed him to find peace in the present, no longer clinging to the past or yearning for the future. He learned to enjoy solitude, not as a sense of lacking, but as the fulfillment of finding peace within himself. He spent his days tending to his small garden, meditating, and appreciating the simple moments of life. Visits from his children and grandchildren became an added joy, not a prerequisite for his happiness. Mr. Min's story reminds us that true happiness does not come from others, but resides within ourselves. Letting go of expectations and living fully in the present is the key to finding inner peace. One quiet afternoon, as Mr. Min meditated under the shade of a tree, a simple yet profound truth came to him. Living near his children was not the mistake. The issue lay in his attachment to the belief that they were responsible for his happiness. He recalled the Buddha's words, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." No matter how much his children loved him, they could never provide the fulfillment he longed for. That contentment could only come from his own heart, from his ability to let go of expectations and embrace the present as it was, rather than as he wished it to be. Mr. Min decided to change his perspective. Instead of waiting for his children to visit or call, he began to cherish every moment they did. He stopped measuring happiness by the frequency of their visits and instead focused on the small joys of daily life. The morning bird song, the warmth of sunlight on his skin, and the meditative moments that reconnected him with himself. He felt a deep sense of freedom as he let go of his expectations. Rather than demanding attention or trying to control his children's lives, he accepted that they had the right to live their own lives, just as he had the right to live his. The transformation of love. Mr. Min's children began to notice the change in their father. No longer burdened by expectations, they visited him not out of obligation, but from genuine love. And Mr. Min, no longer reliant on their attention, found joy within himself. By freeing himself from the bonds of attachment, he discovered true peace. This transformation not only brought him happiness, but also made his relationship with his children more authentic, gentle, and warm than ever before. Mr. Min came to a profound realization. Everything in life is temporary. Youth, health, and even relationships must change over time. Clinging to anything, whether material possessions or emotional ties, only leads to suffering. He understood that his role had shifted. His children were no longer the little ones who needed his care. They had grown up and were navigating lives of their own. Accepting impermanence allowed him to find peace. Holding on to the past or wishing it could remain unchanged would only cause him more heartache. In embracing the fleeting nature of life, Mr. Min learned that true freedom comes from letting go. And in doing so, he cultivated a love that was pure, unconditional, and profoundly healing for both himself and his family. Mr. Min came to understand the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the emptiness one seeks to fill, while solitude is the peace of being content in one's own company. He began to cherish the moments he had to himself, savoring a morning cup of tea, tending to his small garden, or meditating under the shade of a tree. Instead of waiting for his children to fill his days, he filled them himself with simple joys and spiritual practices. The time he spent with his children became an added joy, no longer the foundation of his happiness. He lived fully in the present, appreciating the small gifts life offered. His happiness was no longer dictated by external circumstances, but stemmed from a deep inner tranquility. He found true peace, a complete sense of fulfillment, by letting go of attachments and accepting life as it unfolded. As he reflected on his journey, Mr. Min began to grasp the profound wisdom of non-attachment. Buddhism teaches that clinging to people, possessions, or outcomes inevitably leads to suffering, as nothing in life is permanent. The more we hold on, the more we suffer when those things change or fade away. Mr. Min realized that his suffering did not arise from living near his children, but from his attachment to the belief that they owed him their time, attention, and care. When those expectations went unmet, he felt hurt and abandoned. However, the truth was that his children had not abandoned him. They were simply living their lives in the way they needed to. His pain stemmed from his own clinging, his inability to let go of the roles and relationships that had once defined his identity. In accepting this truth, Mr. Min found freedom. By releasing his expectations and embracing life's impermanence, he discovered a new depth of peace and contentment. This wisdom allowed him to rebuild his relationships with his children, now rooted in love and mutual respect, free from the burdens of obligation. A full circle of life in the final years. Mr. Min realized that his journey had completed an old cycle while opening the door to a new one. Just as he had once devoted himself to nurturing and raising his children, helping them grow into independent individuals, he now understood that it was time to care for himself. His role as a father had transformed, and in his later years, he had the opportunity to cultivate wisdom and build his own independence. In Zen Buddhism, life is seen as a series of interconnected cycles, each bringing its own lessons. The cycle of fatherhood had naturally concluded, making way for a new chapter focused on personal growth and inner peace. No longer defined by his role as a father, nor bound by expectations that had once caused him pain, Mr. Min embraced his new identity with grace. He simply lived as a human being, walking lightly and serenely on life's path, with acceptance and tranquility. As he approached the final chapter of his life, Mr. Min experienced profound peace. His relationships with his children grew stronger, not because they spent more time together, but because he had let go of the need to control or define those relationships. The love between them flowed freely. When his children visited, it was out of genuine affection, and when they couldn't, he no longer felt abandoned. He had come to understand that love is not measured by physical proximity, but by the quality of the bond they shared. In this full circle of life, Mr. Min found the ultimate lesson. By letting go of attachments and expectations, he had created a space for love, connection, and true inner peace to flourish. The legacy of wisdom and peace. The story of Mr. Min serves as a reminder that true happiness in old age does not come from living near one's children or depending on others for emotional support. It comes from practicing the teachings of Zen Buddhism and mindfulness, letting go of attachments, embracing independence, and finding peace within oneself. As the Buddha taught, you must strive for yourself. The Buddha only shows the way. The path to peace and happiness lies not in others, but within our own hearts and minds. Mr. Min walked that path, leaving behind a precious legacy of wisdom and inner fulfillment. Ultimately, his story conveys a profound message. The greatest mistake in old age is not where we live, but how we live. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content like this. Simply click the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts or share ideas for topics you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.
When you turn 60, the only reliable support is not your family, but these 5 pillars. Life is like a river. Life is like a river, taking us through stages of existence, requiring strength, resilience, and wisdom. But as the river nears the calm of the estuary, much like when we enter the golden age of 60, a profound change occurs. The busyness of the previous years gradually fades, and the mind often begins to seek clarity, peace, and purpose. During this time, many people realize an uncomfortable truth: the support systems that have carried them through life, whether family, friends, or worldly achievements, may no longer be as solid as they once believed. Zen teachings and Buddhist philosophy offer timeless wisdom for this stage of life. Do not seek the comforting flame from others, but light the lantern within yourself. A famous Zen proverb reminds us that true peace does not rely on external sources, but on the unshakable pillars we build within ourselves. These pillars are formed from self-awareness and a purposeful life, guiding us gracefully through the twilight years. What are these pillars? Let's begin our journey of reflection through the 5 foundational elements, promising to be the most reliable support as we enter a stage where wisdom and tranquility become our true companions. Pillar 1: Inner Peace. The world may change, and the bustling world around us often becomes quieter with time. This makes inner peace the first and most important pillar of support. Buddhist teachings emphasize, the mind is everything. What you think, you will become. When you master the stillness within, you no longer rely on the fleeting promises of the external world. Mindfulness meditation and the art of letting go become the tools to build this pillar. Imagine someone who has spent many years chasing worldly achievements, but later feels restless because they haven't nurtured their inner peace. They seek happiness from the outside, but the instability of life shakes their balance. When they turn inward, taking time for silence and reflection, they find the calmness that no external factor can disturb. To build this pillar, practice mindfulness daily. Sit in silence and observe your thoughts, letting them come and go like passing clouds. Accept impermanence. Realize that no moment, relationship, or situation is permanent. This is the liberation from attachment to outcomes. Cultivate gratitude. Focus on the beauty of the present moment rather than what has been lost. Inner peace is not about avoiding the storm, but learning to remain calm within the storm. The body is like a temple, housing the soul. As you age, maintaining the structure of this temple becomes crucial for your independence and sense of purpose. Health and vitality are things you can nurture through constant self-care and discipline. Paying attention to both your physical and mental well-being is how you uphold these important support pillars, allowing you to live a meaningful and balanced life. Pillar 2: Health and Vitality. Buddhism teaches us about balance, or the middle path. Caring for the body is an important responsibility because it is the vessel that carries you through life. Neglecting your health due to indulgence or overwork in your youth often leads to difficulties in later years. But even at the age of 60, making conscious choices for physical health can still profoundly improve the quality of life. Consider someone who, after years of neglecting their health, begins to make small yet conscious changes at the age of 60, gentle exercise, balanced eating, and adequate rest. Within a few months, they feel a new surge of energy, enabling them to pursue long-forgotten passions. To strengthen this pillar, exercise daily. Yoga, walking, or stretching exercises to keep the body flexible and the mind sharp. Choose nourishing foods. Eat simple, healthy meals to fuel your body, rather than burdening it. Rest adequately. Deep sleep and a regular sleep routine help rejuvenate both the body and the mind. Health is not just physical strength, but also the harmony between the body and the mind. Pillar 3: Financial Independence. In the teachings of Zen, financial matters are not viewed as taboo but as an essential part of a balanced life. Financial independence is the pillar that ensures you maintain autonomy and dignity as you grow older. As the Zen proverb says, "The wise prepare their resources as the river prepares its banks." Family can provide support, but relying solely on others for financial stability often leads to difficulties and dependency. Imagine two people at the age of 60. The first person has cultivated habits of saving and wise investing over the years. They are not worried about unexpected expenses and can focus on personal growth. The second person spent recklessly in the past and is now dependent and struggling. Their peace is disrupted by unmet needs. To strengthen this pillar, live within your means. Simplify your lifestyle to align with your resources. Create an emergency fund. Prepare for unexpected needs, even if it's just a small amount. Prioritize experiences over possessions. Invest in what brings joy and meaning, avoiding the accumulation of unnecessary belongings. Financial independence is not about amassing wealth, but about freeing yourself from unnecessary worries. Pillar 4: Meaningful Relationships. Although family relationships may change as you age, meaningful relationships remain a vital pillar. These relationships are not based on quantity, but rather develop from sincerity, respect, and mutual support. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes the value of spiritual friendship, relationships where individuals uplift and inspire each other on the path to enlightenment. At the age of 60, your circle of friends may become smaller, but the depth of the relationship matters far more than its breadth. Nurturing relationships that make you feel connected, not just through family roles, but through authenticity and shared growth, will be a source of inspiration and strength in the years ahead. Consider someone in your life who is truly caring, not just out of obligation, but from genuine affection and shared values. These relationships bring comfort and joy far beyond superficial connections. To nurture this pillar, focus on quality, not quantity. Spend time with those who bring positive energy into your life. Practice compassion and understanding. Listen more, judge less, and build trust. Let go of toxic relationships. Free yourself from relationships that drain your energy or harm your peace. Ultimately, relationships built on kindness and mutual respect will bring warmth during the loneliest moments. Pillar 5. Lifelong learning and purpose. The final pillar, lifelong learning and purpose, brings vitality to the later years of life. Buddhist philosophy teaches that life is a journey of eternal development. When the mind stops seeking, the spirit begins to wither. A Buddhist teaching reminds us, even at the age of 60, life still offers countless opportunities to explore. Whether it's learning a new skill, volunteering, or pursuing a forgotten passion, having purpose keeps the soul vibrant. Imagine someone who, instead of retiring into monotony, spends their days creating art, bringing joy to others, and feeling deeply fulfilled themselves. Another person may volunteer to teach children, finding new purpose in sharing knowledge and kindness. To build this pillar, always be curious, read, explore, and ask questions. Give back, find ways to share your knowledge and kindness. Pursue passions, focus on activities that spark creativity and joy. Purpose is the light that guides you through your darkest days, bringing a sense of meaning and fulfillment to life. The profound importance of the 5 pillars. The 5 pillars, inner peace, health and vitality, financial independence, meaningful relationships, and lifelong learning, not only shape your life experiences after 60 but also influence the legacy you leave behind. These pillars enable you to live a fulfilled life, leave a positive mark, and inspire future generations, reminding us that old age is not an end but an opportunity to live more deeply and meaningfully than ever before. Dynamic pillars of life after 60. Inner peace, a lifelong companion. Inner peace is not a static state but a practice, a habit, and an attitude cultivated daily. Zen philosophy describes the mind as a restless monkey, constantly chattering, worrying, and losing focus. Achieving inner peace is the process of taming this monkey, teaching it to sit quietly and observe the beauty of the present moment. By the time you reach 60, you may have experienced many disappointments, losses, and unmet expectations. Without inner peace, these experiences can leave bitter scars or regrets. However, with inner peace, they become stepping stones toward wisdom and understanding. Ways to cultivate inner peace. 1. Daily ritual of stillness. Dedicate time each morning to sit in silence, focusing on your breath as a way to anchor your mind. 2. Simplify your environment. A tidy space reflects a clear mind. Surround yourself with items that bring joy and meaning to your life. 3. Forgiveness as liberation. Let go of unresolved grudges and conflicts. Forgiveness is not for others, but for bringing peace to yourself. When inner peace becomes your lifelong companion, you will no longer feel lonely. Instead, you will find comfort within yourself, independent of anyone else. Health and vitality, a precious asset. As the body ages, the energy and strength that were once taken for granted begin to diminish. However, the body does not require perfection, it only asks for care and respect. Buddhism emphasizes the connection between the mind and the body. A healthy body supports a peaceful mind, and a peaceful mind helps the body recover better. At the age of 60, balancing physical and mental health becomes essential, as even minor illnesses can feel more significant when the mental state is unstable. How to honor your health. 1. Gentle movement. Incorporate activities like Tai Chi or walking, which strengthen the body while practicing mindfulness. These exercises help with balance and reduce the risk of falls. 2. Listen to your body. Pay attention to aches, fatigue, or discomfort. These are signs that the body needs care. 3. Nutrition and hydration. Prioritize simple, whole foods that nourish rather than deplete the body. Avoid excesses that put unnecessary pressure on it. The body is the only vessel you truly own in this life. Treat it with respect, and it will serve you well. In conclusion, inner peace and health not only help you navigate the challenges of aging, but also form the foundation for living a full and meaningful life. The legacy of the 5 pillars in life after 60. Financial independence, peace of mind, not wealth. Financial independence is not about wealth, but peace of mind, the ability to meet your needs without relying on others. Zen and Buddhism do not view money as inherently good or bad. They emphasize the proper use of resources. When managed wisely, money becomes a tool to support both mental and physical health. Conversely, poor management can lead to suffering. How to strengthen financial independence. 1. Simplify your lifestyle. Satisfaction is the highest form of wealth. The fewer desires you have, the more abundant you feel. 2. Prioritize long-term security. Invest in health insurance, emergency funds, or other safety nets to reduce future anxiety. 3. Mindful generosity. Give thoughtfully, in alignment with your values and resources. By viewing financial independence as a form of self-care, you preserve your dignity and peace. Meaningful relationships, quality over quantity. As you age, the relationships in your life may become fewer. Children are busy with their own lives, friends drift away, and your social circle shrinks. However, this is an opportunity to deepen the most important relationships. The importance of spiritual friendship. Spiritual friendships are relationships based on shared values and mutual respect, not blood ties. These friends accompany you on your path to wisdom. How to maintain meaningful relationships. 1. Approach with intention. Spend time with those who bring joy and peace to your life. 2. Be fully present. Listen deeply and give your full attention when engaging in conversation. 3. Let go of unhealthy attachments. It's better to walk alone than to maintain toxic relationships that drain your energy. Meaningful relationships are like mirrors, reflecting your values and reminding you of our shared humanity. Lifelong learning and purpose, the key to vitality. The golden years are not a time of stagnation, but an opportunity to rediscover oneself, learn, grow, and contribute. Zen philosophy teaches that purpose doesn't have to be grand. It can be found in the simplest actions, like tending a garden, writing reflections, or guiding others. How to embrace lifelong learning. 1. Explore new interests. Start a hobby you've always been curious about but never had time to pursue. 2. Share wisdom. Teach or mentor others to pass on your experience and knowledge. 3. Stay curious. Embrace life with the mindset of a beginner, always eager to learn. Purpose is the thread that weaves meaning into your days, turning ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. The legacy of wisdom. These 5 pillars, inner peace, health, financial independence, meaningful relationships, and lifelong learning, are not only guiding principles for life, but also the legacy you leave behind. By embracing these pillars, you create a foundation that not only supports you, but also inspires and brings tranquility to those around you. Zen philosophy reminds us, when you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for what truly matters. Nurture the pillars within you to find peace, resilience, and purpose. This is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of a deeper and more meaningful chapter. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any updates. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.